Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say that politicians that were doubting the impact or whether President Uhuru Kenyatta was going to be part of his succession, if you are doubting about it, then it is now open secret, it's no longer secret, that President Uhuru Kenyatta seems to have taken charge of it. And I am persuaded to understand that perhaps President Uhuru Kenyatta did not want to actually come and dictate his succession. But because of the second term, the fallout with the deputy president and the posterity question that emerges after what he actually perceived as infiltration by the deputy president in Mount Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta decided to have a say. Well, that has really created, and that meant that he had to support Raila Odinga. The support of Raila Odinga made him to create many enemies, allegedly break ranks with friends in the public space, and make a decision that many have, or that many of people around him, or rather around Mount Kenya, saw as a very odd decision. Recently, there was the 1969 oath that was actually cleared through by the elders in Mount Kenya. That was number one. Number two, the Mount Kenya Foundation, who had been the power shakers and movers in this country, have been throwing their weight behind Raila Odinga. And in my analysis, I have always challenged the people who say that President Uhuru Kenyatta ought not to be behind Raila Odinga, that the president carried himself an institution. Almost three weeks to the general election, there are emerging occurrences in the political space, some behind the scenes, some are captured by the media, that some of the politicians and hardliners that are now strategizing for their political future seems to be trooping back to President Uhuru Kenyatta. And before making any other speculation, I just want to just ask a random question. After Jimmy Wanjigi was blocked from Vine under Safina Party, where did he go? Where did he go? You will be told by some of our viewers here. I think I've always asked this question. They always say that Jimmy Wanjigi was a businessman and he was in this presidential race for a bargaining stake, and perhaps was just positioning himself that he can, when he's part of the election process, perhaps as a presidential candidate, he will get himself lined up with any of the other candidates. Well, the rest of those candidates that were blocked have tried to make their way through court. Jimmy Wanjigi sublimed. But I want to ask, and I want to say this. Where Raila Odinga is supported, where Raila Odinga is, if he's to become president, do you think he cannot work with Jimmy Wanjigi? Someone was just asking me this question. Do you think he can't work with Jimmy Wanjigi? I don't think Raila had a personal difference with Jimmy Wanjigi, and he's on record has never, even during all that fracas in Kasarani, Raila never addressed Jimmy Wanjigi, never talked about the Jimmy Wanjigi issue. In fact, it was addressed by the junior officers, or rather the junior politicians around Raila Odinga. And I think only a few. Actually, it was addressed by party ranks, the Secretary General of the party and the chairman of the party. That was Junet Mohammed and I think Sifuna. Where is he? As you ask that question, Mwangi wa Iria trooped back to Azimio la Umoja, and according to the report is that days before After meeting Raila, Mwangi Iria met President Uhuru Kenyatta. He met President Uhuru Kenyatta, and after that, the decision was hatched, and he had to troop back President Umoja. Mwangi Kiunjuri, who was vying for Laikipia East, has been campaigning in his parliamentary seat through the Service Party that vote for me, but don't, it's not a must to vote for deputy president. Actually, he's not campaigning for deputy president, and he's nowhere in the mainstream campaigns of Kenya Kwanza, despite the fact that he's a member of Kenya Kwanza. Mwangi Iria, on the other hand, has shaped his comeback as coming back to Raila because Raila was with him when he was being persecuted by Wafula Chebukati. I listened to that and I was like, wow, this is what is called political posturing. you do messaging for convenience. Honestly, I don't think the problem was Wafula Chebukati. There were powers behind Wafula Chebukati. Now look at William Kabogo. William Kabogo, if you remember the earthquake event on 23rd January, Bomas of Kenya, he was there as a victim of circumstance. He just found himself in the middle of a transfer deal, or rather of a transfer season between Musalia Mudavadi and William Samoei Ruto. But as things went by, Kenya Kwanza became so thick he was suffocated and tricked out by Moses Kuria. While he's been campaigning in Kiambu alone and seeking his own vote as a governor, after the presidential debate, he actually came out and made a video was saying that, look here, I said that the running mate choice was going to decide who becomes the president. And that was in relation to his previous statement that Rigathi Gachagua was going to cost William Samoei Ruto the presidency. These are some of these are very big key politicians from Mount Kenya. And this is what is seen in public. There are many other politicians who did not make to the party list. They were not really appointed. They did not get the tickets to vie. They were in government. And while some of them are believed to have been even funding deputy president, they seems to be trooping back to President Uhuru Kenyatta. And as a political, if you make a political observation, I will just ask this question straight. What do you think President is getting right? Or we can also ask it the other side. What do you think William Ruto is getting wrong? If we ask it that way, I know you can have an answer. I want to humbly request, ladies and gentlemen, to subscribe to our channel. Kindly subscribe, click the notification bell, and like our video. And big shout out to people who share our videos. Asanteni sana through sharing. You guys are really doing amazing stuff for me. We do this because of you. By the time we'll be getting to this election, and even 1 week after the election, there is going to be a lot of shockers. I think things are going to turn, and you'll be shocked that even some of the people that you see were so vocal around key politicians, people around Raila, people around William Ruto, actually had the hidden colors. Maybe in public, they were putting on the yellow, but behind closed doors, they were talking about the blue. That is what I see, because there seems to be a lot. By the way, today I just read in one of the newspapers, I think one of the stories here, that Kenyatta University have surrendered that land. Remember the 410 acre of land that was bringing the controversy until to an extent that it even led to the sacking of Kenyatta University VC. They have surrendered that land. And that tells you the power of government. You need to understand what really government stands for and what government means. This will help us to put this political observation to some perspective. The custodian. I want to look straight in the eye of someone from Mount Kenya and say, the custodian of Mount Kenya's stake in the next government will be President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. I've used the next government to mean whether Raila Odinga forms that government or Deputy President William Ruto forms that government. The person that will hand over that sword is President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And you can make any other political strategy, but you cannot underestimate the influence and the stake that the president have. Let me just throw one to you. Do you know that the appointments that are made by the president directly, who appoints the ambassadors? The National Assembly is just vetting. Who appoints state bodies, statutory bodies, directors? President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. It is the president. So the office of the presidency is actually endowed with a lot of powers. We really have a supreme presidency as we talk now. And that makes him a foundation for the next administration. Whether Ruto will win, and most probably if Raila Odinga wins, I can tell you that the president, the stake of what will go to Mount Kenya will go through President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And even if William Ruto is to win with Rigathi Gachagua, most likely he will drop these cheerleaders. You must drop Gachagua, drop Nyoro, drop Waititu, you must drop Wamatang, you must drop Moses Kuria and go for the real men, power movers and shakers. The moment president falls back, he's going to form that team. And you can look at it in some other perspective, that the latest statements and the political, let's say the political framing of different messages from Kenya Kwanza and Azimio la Umoja points to a panic about the role of the deep state in this election. For example, look at this story about the 3 foreigners. Kenya Kwanza position seems to be pushing a narrative that government is hell-bent to make sure that power is surrendered to Raila Odinga. Now, whereas this can be perceived as just maybe laying ground to reject the result, illegitimacy of the results, or maybe it also it's also a cushion on merit. But we already have a precedence in this country. In 2013 and 2017, Raila Odinga was complaining that the state was interfering. And indeed, Raila Odinga did not become president. Be it 2013, 2017, 2007. Whether he won those elections or no, it's not the question. The question is, he did not become the president. So someone is seated, someone saying, the whole cry, when you go, this happens, the state wants to. When there is the issue of the commission, the state is now doing harassment. But when you go to the campaign rally, you keep on saying, kura yangu haiwezi ibiwa. Behind the scene, kura yangu haiwezi ibiwa is for the consumption of the common man, is for the consumption of the voter so that the voter cannot feel defatigued. But to a politician that has been in government will tell you that the deep state is a panic factor that could be making the Mount Kenya portfolio to troop back to President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And this is something that you cannot say. I don't want to say Ruto is an overrated heavyweight. Ruto is really a heavyweight in this election. But the truth of the matter here is the numbers are not adding up. Guys, the numbers are not adding up. And if you sit down, just sit down and make all those calculations. Give Central Kenya a 70%, give Central Kenya 76% turnout with a negative suppression, and give the two strongholds of Raila and Ruto a 90% turnout with zero element of suppression from Nyanza, but with sort of suppression element from Rift Valley, then Raila Odinga to take a general majority, or rather a general win in all the other counties. Raila take majority in Western, win in Western. Cumulative, I'm talking about cumulative numbers, Nairobi, cumulative numbers in the coast, cumulative numbers in Northeastern, the numbers do not add up in favor of Raila Odinga or of William Ruto. So someone might sit down and say, look here, I don't need to know the political matrix that is going on, the deep state. I don't need to have an understanding of what the president is doing. I just need to sit down and make my calculation. And this could be informing deep decisions that are being made. I want to say something. Of course, I will find some time and analyze it. That Ruto's fallback plan after this election is going to lock out any other Mutogoria from Mount Kenya. Ruto's fallback plan is very clear. If Raila Odinga is going to be sworn in as the president, the next thing you must make sure that in 2027, Rigathi Gachagua, Moses Kuria, William Kabogo, Mwangi Kiunjuri, who, they are not factors in 2027 general election. Because when it comes to 2027, I can tell you that from Mount Kenya, someone will come. It is only in this election that Mount Kenya do not have a presidential candidate. In 2027, if Raila wins and can front Martha Karua, or Central Kenya might front another candidate. So if Central Kenya might have a presidential candidate in 2027, it means that William Ruto must consolidate a dream team without the mindset of going to Central Kenya. You must now go to Mudavadi, go to Kalonzo, try to look for Raila's remnants, those who are still remaining in the Nyanza region, and work on something. That fallback plan is going to kick out all these other politicians. And that is why someone who is seated and is making the long shot can see that Central Kenya's route to presidency cannot be through Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my bold look into this.